Airbnb in Las Vegas sounds like a jackpot, right? Sunshine, tourists, and easy cash flow. You buy a house, throw it on the Airbnb, and let the tourists roll in. But here's the reality. Depending on which side of Sahara Avenue you're on, your Airbnb might be completely illegal. And the fines? They can hit 5 figures fast. So before you jump in, let's break it down city by city, because the rules change the moment you cross the street. Inside the city of Las Vegas, which covers the downtown core and parts of West Side, short-term rental are allowed, but only under one strict condition. You have to be the owner-occupied. That means you live in the home, not just own it. You can rent up to 3 bedrooms, and your property must be at least 660 feet away from another short-term rental, and no parties. Period. The city's code enforcement will shut you down fast. I had an investor who wanted to buy a duplex downtown thinking, perfect, I'll Airbnb it both sides and double my income. However, he was denied. The city rejected their permit because it wasn't going to be owner-occupied. They had to switch both units to long-term rentals, and instead of $5,000 a month, they were barely breaking even. So yeah, if you don't live there, you can't Airbnb it there. By the way, if that rule surprised you, hit the like button, because that one catches everyone off guard the first time. Now, Henderson, this one's a little bit more flexible, but also more expensive. You need to register every year. The city charges about $900 annually just for your license. You also need to get a $1 million liability insurance, which is a mandatory. And you're required to collect and remit 13% transient lodging tax every single month, even if your property is set empty. That part always surprises people. Even if you make zero money, you still owe the paperwork. And if you miss the filing, Henderson will find you. Let me give you an example. One host forgot to file their report for 3 months. The penalties almost cost them their license. They were only saved because they hired help to get compliant. So here's a tip. If you want to play the Airbnb game here in Henderson, set a calendar reminder for every deadlines. Tax filings, insurance renewal, license renewals, all of it. Henderson runs short-term rentals like a regulated business, and that's exactly how you need to treat it. Next up, North Las Vegas. Let me tell you, they're not playing either. You need what's called a conditional use permit, or CUP. To qualify, your property must be at least 660 feet away from another short-term rental and 2,500 feet from a hotel. If your neighborhood has an HOA, you need a written HOA approval before you even apply. And once you're approved, you must have a noise monitor and guest contact information available 24/7. One of my clients bought a home in Aliante, totally excited to start an Airbnb, but when they applied for the CUP permit, the city denied it because another Airbnb down the street was already within that 660-foot buffer. They ended up pivoting for a long-term lease instead. So again, the map matters. 2 blocks can be difference between legal and illegal. Now, here's a big one. Unincorporated Clark County. And this covers most of what you think when you think of Las Vegas. The Strip, Paradise, Spring Valley, all of that is unincorporated. For years, Clark County banned all short-term rentals outright. None. Zero. But recently, they opened up the licensing program. It's extremely limited though. They only open application window for short periods, and once they hit their quota, that's it. You cannot apply until the next round. Properties must meet strict spacing rules, pass inspections, and comply with parking, noise, and safety requirements. And here's a big warning. Operating without a license can cost you over $1,000 per day in fines. I know an owner who ignored those rules. They ran an unlicensed Airbnb near the Strip for a year, thought they could fly under the radar. But when the county caught them, the fines added up to over $100,000. They had to shut down and sell. So if you're in Clark County, double check your zoning and licensing before you list, because once the county knocks on your door, it's already too late. All right, so let's do the number, because this is where the most people get caught up in the dream instead of the data. Let's compare two scenarios, one licensed Airbnb and one long-term rental. Airbnb brings in about $4,000 gross per month. Sounds great, right? But then we subtract $500 for utility, $600 for cleaning, $400 for Airbnb commission and fees, $150 for supplies, and about $120 in platform fees. Your net is roughly $2,230. Now, a long-term rental at $2,300 a month minus $150 for property management and $75 for maintenance nets you $2,075. Pretty close, but one comes with constant turnover, risks, and regulations. The other? Stable, consistent, and quiet. The moral of this math is that short-term can work, but only if you treat it like a business, not a weekend side hustle. If you are sloppy with filings, taxes, or compliances, the city will take your profits and then some. So here's the bottom line. Airbnb in Las Vegas isn't just get rich quick play. If you want to do it right, you got to know your zone, follow your city rules, and stay compliant with Nevada law. Because in this town, if you gamble with the regulations, the house always wins. Whether you're in Henderson, North Las Vegas, or unincorporated Clark County, understand what's legal before you buy. It's not about the hype. It's about doing the math and doing it right. If you want the real Vegas playbook, not the influencer version, hit subscribe. I'm Hannah Lee, a property manager and an investor here in Las Vegas. I cover the legal sides of the money side of real estate, so you can invest smart, stay compliant, and actually keep your profits. See you in the next one. And remember, in Las Vegas, real estate knowledge is your real jackpot.